Okay, I have my first building modeled, which is the Crane Communication Tower from Chicago. Second one I found here is this iconic tower from London, England, 30 St. Mary Axe, a tower downtown London. So we're going to try to modify that and see what it would take to draw this. Let's just grab, let's see. I want to rename this box here. Instead of box, we're going to call this the Crane Communication Tower. Crane I'll shorten it, Tower. Okay. And then we can model this other one to be about the same size and height, just for making our scene easier. Let's go back into Create tab here. I'll start drawing it here next to it, and then we'll shut off that. Let's do this one as a cylinder. We could do it as a box, but why if we already have? So we're going to do the radius. What was the radius of this? The point, the full height across, I think was, let's do it as 0.25. Let's see how that works. And the height, we're going to make this 2 meters tall, because radius, we would have to double that to go across. So if that's a 0.5 meter across here, let's try this here. We'll click here and 0.25, and the height is going to be 2. All right. That gets us generally in the general ballpark for editing this. Let's go in. We're going to change the name of this right away to the 30 St. Mary Tower here. Okay. And let's change the color of this one to make it a little more gray, because it's more gray. And we'll hit select. Now over in my scene for my manager here, I can hide my crane tower, and let's just start modeling here and modifying this. So we can go back to, we can definitely try our taper tool here. And we could add a taper to a point here. Okay, so it should be -1 if we want to go all the way to a point here. -1. And then we need to make a curve on it and kind of puff it out, right? Now, if you notice, that makes it more like a bullet. So we might have to slide this curve up and limit the effect of it here. None of this is going to help us because we want it to go on our X. Okay, and it doesn't hurt to know what we're doing. We want it to go to taper our X and Y both as we go up the scene here. Now let's try limiting our tapers here. We want that to go all the way to the top. So that's 2 meters, right? And if we bump this up to 0.3, how does that look? We start, and then we have to turn it on, right? So that would do a little bit. It doesn't do that much, right? So how do we puff the middle of this out even more? Let's expand it like this now. And we might not be able to take this all the way to a sharp point. let's widen this out a little bit here. Okay, and then let's bring this taper down, and we'll add a second taper on the very top. So let's do this one at 1.5, 1.5. Okay, and we'll start this one at 0.25. Now, as of right now, this is all just experimental, but then I'm going to do another taper from 1.5 to 2. Let's try it. So I go back in here, I'm going to add a second taper, and this one is going to go from this one's going to go all the way up to 2, but it's going to start at 1.5. 1.5. Okay, so from here to here, let's taper this in more. And I'm not sure if it will do it. No, it wants to squish or squash everything. So, can definitely widen that out, but we can't. We want it to come to a point, right? And we wanted to limit that here. We wanted to make our curve. Oh, maybe. It's not going to be perfect, but you can definitely play around with it a little bit here. My limit here doesn't really matter on the top as long as it's around 2, but this one can kind of fatten that out. And then I can set my curve to make this even fatter. And what if we add our cylinder here? We add a few more sides. Does that make a difference? We can go back and adjust our first one here like that. And then our second one. Like that. You know, I think that is about as good as we're going to get for this, and as good as we really need it. Could I add a twist in there? Yeah. As of right now, the twist isn't going to show up, unless we put in our wireframes. We're not going to see that in our final render, so I'm not even going to worry about the twist. Let's turn on both of these, and we are ready to import those into our scene. Okay, we have our 30 St. Mary's Axe Tower and our crane communication tower. So I'm going to save this here as my towers. Crane, towers, and St. Mary's Towers. St. Mary Axe Tower. Okay. And we are ready to put that into our original scene. So thanks for joining me. I hope this helped, and let's get this inserted and make our scene look more realistic. We'll see you in the next one.